Hello, and welcome to Smash Writing. And today, we're going to be talking about Boy Kills World. It was not a hard sell to get me into this movie. Bill Skarsgård, H. John Benjamin, killer mascots. Yeah, that's all it took. I was ready to go. And now that I have watched it, let's dive in, shall we? The movie opens with a bit of what's going on. We get that directly from Boy's inner monologue. Yeah, his name is credited as Boy. And what's going on is this area that he lives in is controlled by the Vanderkoys. And once a year, they go on what's called the Calling, where they eliminate any political rivalries or threat to their power. And one year, they came for his family. And they killed his mom and his sister. And him, too, they tried to kill him, but he was saved by the shaman, who dedicates to training the boy into the special weapon with the sole purpose of killing Hilda Vanderkoy, the matriarch of the Vanderkoys. And, well, the entire Vanderkoys, really, but she is the main target, Hilda. And you see at the beginning is some brutal training, not a lot of food given to him, and his only source of entertainment is the dictionary. And what the shaman is doing is also trying to wipe his memory, pretty much, so he thinks of nothing except the goal. And he doesn't even remember his own. When he was left for dead, he had his tongue cut off and made mute, deaf. So while his memories are being drained from him and everything, he even forgets his own voice. But what does linger and what he can't get rid of is memories of his sister, and that's where his inner dialogue comes from. Away is the video game. I think it was like Super Dragon Punch Force 2, and his inner voice is after the voice in the game. So we see him grow up and become this warrior, but who's still clinging on to his sister and still seeing his sister. And then one day, him and the shaman go into town, and the Vanderkoys roll in. It's that magical time of the year, time for the Calling. At this time, they want 12 people specifically to take with them. And it gets out of hand when Glenn shoots one of the protesters, and they have to call in June 27th. A special member of their guard who just starts tearing them all down and she puts the riders down hard. But all of this pisses off the boy. Waves off the shaman, telling him he's not ready, and he sinks into the back of the Vanderkoy's car and into their convoy. And he gets out at one of their warehouses, and we meet Gideon, Glenn, and Glenn's wife, Melina, all of which are Vanderkoy targets. And we find out a little bit that this year's going to be televised, and she got all this sponsors and all this writing on it, and the 6 people they brought are not enough. She needs 12. But when they go off, he starts scouting out the warehouse, and his hallucination of his sister starts talking to him, which is new. And it ends up getting him exposed by the guards, and a big fight breaks out. And he meets a guy named Basho during this. He's a member of the resistance team. Once all the guards and everything are dealt with, it just leaves Glenn Vanderkoy, who walks into this, and he gets taken down. But he's confessing that he's tired of all of this. He wants it to be done. His therapist doesn't think it's good for him anymore. He doesn't like juice. And he tells him, you're going to have an opening on Hilda. She will be out of her bunker for one night during the Calling kind of deal. And he will help them get into the mansion. But there's an accident. His head is squished. He's not going to help them. So him and Basho go, and Basho takes them to meet the resistance. And there is only one guy left, Benny. And Basho's like, you know what? The 3 of us, we can do this. You are a weapon. And Benny starts going through this plan. And the problem with Benny is Benny doesn't quite speak English. And the boy can only communicate people by reading lips. So he has no idea what this plan is. And they pretty much just throw him into a chef's outfit and send him into the mansion. And he's just going to wing it from there. After a short little macaroon break, he does find the family, and he beheads Hilda. Except it wasn't Hilda. It was a fake family. Gideon set this all up because he knew eventually someone would try an attack on the family. The boy tries to fight back, and that's when June 27th arrives. And she shoos everyone away for a one-on-one fight between the two of them. And he almost has her until his hallucination, his sister, distracts him long enough for him to be knocked out. When he comes to, he's tied to a chair with a shock collar on, and Gideon, they want to know where the shaman is. He won't tell them, so Gideon shoots everyone out, and he's going to make him talk. But turns out Gideon is also tired of all of this nonsense. And Hilda being crazy, he understands exactly what the boy's going for here. And it looks like he's about to free him when Melina comes in. And she's pretty much like, you're going to be my main attraction for the night. So off he goes, and he's tied to this pole thing to be on the stage with all of this going on. And we meet Hilda, who is insane. She even pulls a gun at one point. But there's a moment between the two. And I actually forgot to bring this up during the June 27th fight, but her helmet does come off, and they have a moment too. So this is the second moment he has with the Van der Koys. Before anything can happen, Melina ushers her off, and it's time to bring out the mascots. They're being sponsored by this cereal company, and it's going to be their mascots doing the killing on the stage. While all this is going on, he has a memory. Gideon slipped him a scalpel, and it's hidden inside of his sleeve, so he's able to free himself. But before he can do anything, he's shocked and put down again. But he's rescued by Benny and Basho. Basho's the goat. And they go onto a big fighting spree. Everything's looking great until Melina shows up, and she shoots Benny and Basho. Basho's wounded, Benny dies there. And they knock out Melina. And they go on a little bit, but Basho bleeds out during the next wave. So leaving just the boy alone. And he comes on to Gideon. He gets a key card that'll let him into the bunker. And he forces away the memory of his sister so he can deal with Gideon. And he gets in the elevator and starts going down when Hilda pops up on the screen. And like, when that door opens, you're going to be showered with armor-piercing rounds into ribbons. And he holds out a map and shows her the map that him and his sister drew for the reason why he's doing all of this. And when the doors open, there's no gunfire. And June 27 shows up, and on her visor it says, "She'll see you now." And that's when we find out what's going on in this movie. The boy is a Van der Koy, and June 27 is his sister. And what happened was Hilda had him kill the shaman's wife and children, or child. I think it was only one child. And whenever she tried to make him kill the shaman, he started firing everywhere but the shaman. And the shaman escapes, and he runs off to be found by the shaman, who brainwashes him into believing Hilda did all of this horrible stuff to him. But meanwhile, it was the shaman who cut out his tongue and made him deaf. And he's still not telling her because he's in a state of shock at this point. And she orders June 27 to kill him. But she turns around and puts the axe into Hilda's head, which causes all the guards to attack them, and they fight their way back to the elevator. And they have a little bit of a moment on the elevator when it's called back down, and it's the shaman. And there's still one Van der Koy he needs to kill, his sister. So after June 27 starts the fight, he joins in after a little bit, but they are both really badly injured by the shaman. And it takes an effort for the boy to finally put him down. And the movie ends with the two of them leaving together. The action in this movie, and the fight sequences in this movie are so crisp and so smooth and so creative. I love the mascots wailing on people, and him fighting with the mascots, and him crushing Melina with the giant fucking pineapple. The cheese grater scene was excellent. It's just brutally delightful film. It's just so much fun, start to finish. And the finale between the brother and sister and the shaman was spectacular. The comedy was on point. And having H. John Benjamin playing the inner dialogue was such a good casting decision. Though his quibs and lines and just delivery overall was so damn funny. But you also have Bill Skarsgård doing the physical comedy and the facial expressions and emoting, and he delivered perfectly from shock and awe and the pain he felt through all of this and these shocking moments. Bill really did a great job and stepped up in a big way. And the dude was fucking ripped for this movie. He was ready to go and perfect. The other cast did as well. You had Isaiah Mustafa and Andrew Koji as Benji and Basho. You had you were sad to see those two go. You don't get a whole lot of time with them, but when they are on screen, they're a blast to watch. And they owned every moment. Every moment they had, they delivered, and they took advantage of every single second. Nicholas and Cameron Crovet, they played the younger boy when he was a child, and they did a really good job. And then you had Jessica Roth was excellent as June 27th. I really wonder how much of the action sequences she was involved in. Uh, she was ready to go for this movie. She did perfect. Then Michelle Dockery and Brad Cartman were excellent as bastards. And Famke Johnson, well, she's Famke Johnson. Has there ever been anything bad said about her acting? No, she's amazing. And then you had Yayan Ruan, who played the shaman. And he did such a great job playing both. Of being like this sympathetic character that you want to feel bad for, and then remembering what awful things he did to this boy who didn't want to follow his mother's orders or anything. It wasn't like he maliciously killed his family, but what he was turned into and how he was robbed of time with his sister. He did a great job playing both sides of the coin. And for all the craziness, I did enjoy the twists and turns in this movie and how woven together it was. The transitions, the shots, like the shots throughout the movie, but the transitions when he's remembering that he's one of the Vanderkoys, and it's transitioning from the imaginary mother he thought he had to Hilda Vanderkoy was well done. And it was a well told story for a movie that really didn't have to have a twist and a swerve here. You could have just had a fun, relied on the fun, crazy antics that this movie was already promoting and what it delivered perfectly on. But you did. You just had a fun little twist in there, like, hey, this is what's really happening. All in all, great time. Go check this out in theaters. I'm gonna give this movie an A plus, and that is my take on Boy Kills World. As always, have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are, and have a good one. Bye bye.